Hello everyone, welcome back to Gryphon Studio. My name's Alan. I haven't posted in a while. My apologies for that. This is the first video for quite a few weeks now. Just fighting a bit of a back injury, and today fighting a cold. So if I sound horrendous throughout this entire video, I'm really sorry. But today I've got a new build for you, and I've been making a little bit more kind of this rustic desert terrain here. I like to use it for gorkamorka. If you haven't played that already, it's superb. A really old game from Games Workshop. It's just like orcs fighting orcs, Mad Max style. So what's not to love? Yeah, so just this really kind of cool desert kind of outpost situation, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So let's just crack on with the video, shall we? Alright, so to begin with, I'm going to take some of this graphics medium weight chipboard. It's kind of a very sturdy, very rigid cardboard, quite thick. You'll need some pretty heavy duty scissors to cut through it, and I'm going to just divide it into lengths that are about sort of 15 centimeters by about 6 or 7 centimeters. You can obviously change the dimensions depending on the size of the crate that you want. Now we're essentially just going to turn this into a hollow rectangular tube by scoring the lines here and then folding them in to create that kind of crate shape. Now obviously you don't have to follow this instruction, but I'm going to turn my crate into a kind of makeshift shop. So I'm going to cut a little rectangle out of one of the sides just to create this kind of window, this sort of shopping window where people can come and claim goods and whatnot. Now it's always handy to have a reference model on standby just so you can size it up while you're building. I'm going to use a 40k Ork model. But then I need to reinforce the edges here, so I'm going to kind of hot glue in some pieces of card that will cut into right angles and just use them to kind of create that nice shape so the crate doesn't kind of buckle and kind of warp when it's in use. And I very carefully cut to size some end pieces, and I used a little bit of wood glue actually to just sort of secure them in place, and I used an old brush to kind of smear it into that gap just to make sure that it was firmly stuck in. And with that step complete, we can move on to the magic texture ingredient, which is just some basic sort of paper stock that I found on eBay. It's kind of corrugated, as you can see, and it's great for that kind of crate texture on the outside walls. Just make sure you get it in the correct orientation, so it kind of wants to go like up, down, vertical along the sides of the crate. I'm going to use a little bit of PVA along the sides here and smooth it out. Nice thin layer, and then I'm just going to stick it down. You could even just use a kind of a glue stick or even wood glue or something like that would do fine in this situation. So be fairly generous and cover the entire area, but make sure it's nice and thin to minimize warping. So I'm only going to cover 3 of the long sides and 1 short side on the crate with that kind of yellow corrugated paper. One side is going to be flat against the floor, so it won't be seen, and the other side is going to be doors. Obviously these 2 little bits of medium weight graphics chipboard, these are just going to be the doors. I just cut these out using an X-Acto knife. I'm sticking these down in the exact same way as I did the sides. Then I took some cocktail sticks, cut them to length, and then just positioned them with a little bit of wood glue along in straight lines along the doors there, just to act as these kind of like bars that lock the doors into position. And you know, you could do sort of like 2 or 4 of these on the doors. Now, to tidy up the areas where the 2 panels join on the corners of this crate, I'm going to use a few strips of this graphics medium weight chipboard. Again, just cut into nice long strips, and then I'm going to use a bit of wood glue just to stick them down across the entire length, just to hide that unseemly join between the 2 sides there. And with those dry, I'm going to find that hole that I made in one of the sides using a craft knife, just gently kind of feeling where the cardboard is and where the cardboard isn't, and just I'm going to cut out that little section again, just so I can make a little shop out of this thing. Now I will need a base for this, so I'm going to use some expanded PVC, or Formex as it's sometimes called. It's quite rigid and quite nice to work with, and it's really useful. It's quite rigid and it comes in quite thin sheets, usually sort of 3 or 5 millimeters. Of course, if you're just making crates and you just want to stack them up and stuff like that, then you don't need any base at all. You can just skip that step entirely and move straight on to painting. Now, I always think it's really cool to add extra bits to terrain, like maybe cloth and armoured plates to go over the sides of bits where maybe some damage is being caused and they want to sort of patchwork it up. And to do that, I often just add a bit of cardboard, but I tend to add these little rivets to it, just by half poking a hole through the cardstock there. And you know, you can create little awnings and such, just to add a little bit of variation to the build and add some interesting features. And here I'm just going to use some sculptor mold to kind of craft the floor into this sort of undulating terrain, so that it's not just very, very flat and boring. And I will texture it later with a little bit of modelling sand. As you can see here, I'm adding my bits to the base and setting it into the sculptor mold to help it sit in the environment. And then it was time to raid my bits box. I found a whole bunch of random bits of Orky terrain here. I'm just going to stick those around the build and kind of put them in piles and stuff like that, just to sort of help sell the kind of makeshift vibe of this whole piece. Now, the whole point of this piece was to be this kind of scrap shop, this sort of trading area where you could bring in your old scrap and trade it in for some sort of monetary value. So I wanted this thing to look like it was just covered in like bits of old metal and things which just kind of cobbled together in a very Orky fashion, where, you know, health and safety isn't exactly important to them. So you know, you can just sort of create things and make them look a little bit haphazard, and just have piles of scrap everywhere, and you know, really just dress it up and to be kind of cool looking. So here, there you can obviously see the tin can that I used there on the right, and I've added a few little sort of awnings and roofs to things, and put some kind of plate metal on the sides, a few scrap piles. Just add things anywhere to make it look like it's been reinforced, or maybe holes have been patched up and whatnot. And it's okay if things look a little bit messy, because orcs are messy. So then it's time to PVA glue the entire base and just add some modelling sand to the whole thing, and that should help with the texture. And when it was dry, I applied a black spray primer over all of the building, and then this kind of desert yellow spray primer over the base. And then it's just a matter of giving it a good base coat of a burnt sienna, and that's just going to give it a nice rusty undertone to the entire build. And I'm sure I'll put that over all of the metal components on the entire thing. And then you can start adding some kind of paint work. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to the crate here, and you know, you can be fairly haphazard with it. It'll look like some of the paint's chipped away, but try and, you know, cover a reasonable amount so that it's not completely rusty across the entire thing. The next step is to add a little bit of metallic silver to some of the kind of raised areas of the metallic stuff, just to make it look like, you know, the sand has eroded it or something's been scuffed and exposed some fresh metal underneath all that rust. Now I am going to use another technique here where you kind of sponge on some bits of brown where you think rust might have come through a little bit, and it does just help to add that kind of typical rusty texture with this sort of flaking paint. So I'm just going to add a few areas with that effect as well. And then I'll move on to some detailing, and I'm just going to add on some typical orc glyphs and typical sort of patterns that the orcs use. And these are just sort of usual stuff that you'd see in the 40k world. And then I'm going to give this entire thing a good coat in my usual black-brown wash. This is my multi-purpose wash that I use for more or less everything, and it's going to go over pretty much the whole thing and give it that grimy look. And you can use it to create these kind of water streaks and stuff. You can obviously leave out certain areas that you don't want to darken down too much, but anything that's kind of a big rusty mess is going to get some sort of application of this wash, just to really set it into the scene and make it look kind of grimy and dirty. This here is just bits of tissue that I PVA'd onto the whole thing, and then I'm just going to add that wash to them. There we are, guys, all finished. I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. It's very useful kind of terrain for me to have. I tend to play a lot of gorkamorka games lately. D&D's took a little bit of a back burner in terms of terrain making because most of my games are online these days, and you know, I just use maps and things for that rather than sort of physical terrain. I have been working on a homebrew as well, and playing a homebrew online, and that's going quite nicely at the moment. But it just means that my D&D terrain's on a bit of like the back burner at the moment. But you know, I'll get back into it again probably in the next video. And probably got a bit of a Halloween theme, autumnal theme kind of video on the way next. As for this one though, it was really good to give me a chance to just sort of go through my bits box and get rid of some of those things that we all hoard off every kind of gaming sprue that we ever get. And then, you know, also just things like using a tin can and random cardboard and paper stock just to create something more than the sum of its parts, I suppose. So yeah, I was really pleased to be able to kind of do that. I really enjoy the kind of rusty effect makeshift buildings as well that orcs kind of tend to come up with in the world of Warhammer 40,000. It's a really interesting aesthetic, and I really enjoy it. I would like to say a big thank you to my Patreon supporters who have continue to sort of fund me here in this channel. I appreciate all of you very much. Every patron that I've currently got is going to be featured in some way, shape or form in my homebrew D&D campaign at the moment. Your names will be either used as NPCs, interesting places, or things of significance, or whatever. So yeah, you guys are you're basically the inspiration for my homebrew campaign at the moment. So yeah, a massive thank you to all my patrons and anybody who signs up in the future. You know, you're all very much appreciated, and I love you all to death. I'm also on Instagram. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, feel free to do that. I do tend to post occasional things on there that you know, from around the workshop, and upcoming projects and things that I've just made and whatnot. So yeah, feel free to follow me on there. I'm also on Facebook as well, and I've just recently set up a TikTok account, though I'm not completely kind of on board with the TikTok thing just yet, so I'll get there eventually. If you did like this video, please feel free to hit the like button below and comment with questions and queries and ideas for future builds, and I'll try to reply to everyone that I can. Feel free to subscribe as well if you haven't already. Most of you are not technically subscribed to my channel, but it really helps the channel out if you do subscribe, so please feel free to do that as well. Thanks for joining me this week, and I hope to see you all again sometime soon. Thanks for stopping by, and happy crafting.